Hi, this is Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. I want to respond to you wondering why I don't respond to the many lies that are being put out by people in the media. I don't frankly have enough time to do my job, which is what you elected me to do, and also try to counteract every single misinformation that is put out there by the media. But I do want to draw your attention to just one or two particular instances, because I think it is telling when we talk about fake news and we talk about people that mislead you and lie to you. It isn't just an opinion of he said, she said. It is literally a fact. I want to show you a couple of videos. You decide for yourself. When I called out the media recently, and millions of you saw the fact that I simply asked them to be objective, to tell the truth, to trust you, the viewer, to trust you, the listener, to know the truth for yourself based on your own interpretation, they were outraged. They said it's their responsibility to take what I say, to translate it, because they're professional journalists after all, and they're going to translate it, and they're going to tell you what I said. That's how they would like this to operate. I want to show you an example of recently how that worked. I'm going to show you exactly what I said to the media. Then I'm going to show you what they said that I said to you. Take a look at what I said recently when I called on the leaders in our faith-based community to come out and be engaged in the community, to take ownership of individual blocks, and to take ownership for a year, to take small groups and walk around, engage with and pray with the people in those communities, to interact with them and restore a sense of dignity and restore a sense of hope and belief in people that they can find solutions from within their own community. This is what I said. Take a look at this, and then we'll take a look at some of the responses.
I personally believe in the power of prayer. I've seen it. I've seen it evidenced not only in our communities, but beyond. And this is what we're asking people to do. Do we still need political solutions and law enforcement solutions? Do we still need economic solutions? You bet we do. Of course we do. And this isn't in any way, shape, or form trying to take the place of other things that have got to be done. But this is something that we firmly believe will make a difference in our community.
The first person I want you to see who misinterpreted what I said, and it wasn't a misinterpretation, it was a blatant lie. I will tell you this, Bill Lamb is an intelligent man. He's quite intelligent enough to have known what I actually said. So he's banking that you won't be able to know when he lies to you. And so take a look at his report where he tells you what I said, what I called for, and he expects you to take it hook, line, and sinker. Take a look at what he said and make your own determination.
That's why I'm so disappointed by Governor Matt Bevin's insinuation that all we need to do to cure the epidemic of violence in our city is send out nightly prayer patrols in the affected neighborhoods.
So again, this is a guy who is a respected member of the media in this state. He is the news editor and the head of WDRB, which is the Fox News affiliate in our largest city. He's a guy who puts himself forward as an objective journalist. There's nothing objective about this. One of two things, again, either he's not smart enough to know what I actually said, or he's betting that you're not smart enough. I think you are smart enough, and I know he's smart enough, so that means he's lying to you. That's unacceptable, and we're going to call this stuff out. This is what I talk about when I say that you have to get the news directly from the source. You cannot trust the media because they will not shoot straight with you. You can, again, make your own determination. We'll show you the full link of what he said. While we only showed you a snippet, take a look at the whole link, and again, you'll see there's even more of what I just showed you. There's another individual I want to draw your attention to as well. His name is Doug Proffitt. Doug Proffitt has also been in the community of Louisville for many, many years, works for WHAS. He has an editorial piece that he does from time to time. I want to show you a look at what he said in response to my comment. And again, you heard already what I've said to the media. This is WHAS's interpretation of what I said.
But when Bevin said last week that he would announce a plan of action to help solve Louisville's crime problem, he raised expectations that he would be telling us all something the mayor and the police chief have been unable to pull off. They didn't show up to hear a politician tell them to pray harder. They thought and hoped the governor was going to pull a surprise.
You'll see that among other things, he claims the fact that he thought there was going to be something impressive coming, something, a big plan, a surprise of some sort. I want you to take a look at what I said time and time again to members of the media, including many of the reporters from WHAS. Take a look at these 3 or 4 short clips that show you what I told them was going to be coming and who I was going to be speaking to specifically.
I have a solution that has nothing to do with politics.
It has nothing to do with spending more money. It has nothing to do with more police on the streets. It has everything to do about engaging you as members of our communities. And so I'm asking our senior pastors, senior members of our churches, congregations, our synagogues, to please come to this meeting. It's going to be simple, straightforward, easily done things. It's why I want you to be there, because there's nothing proprietary about this. I want you to take these ideas back with you.
It's not going to be another government program. It's going to be simple, and it will be mocked and it will be ridiculed, I can guarantee you. But it will be mocked and ridiculed by people who've never come up with a better solution.
So I want people to just anticipate a simple solution that if they genuinely care and if they truly want to participate in finding a solution, it'll be something that they can easily participate in.
What we said at the very beginning was that there is no single solution, including what we propose. There is no one thing that's going to fix what ails our communities at all. It is what we proposed today was a single component of many, many things that are going to need to be done.
So again, you've just seen what I actually said was going to be coming, and yet Doug Proffitt from WHAS turned around and misled you, lied to you, expressed shock and dismay that I did exactly what I said repeatedly I was going to do, and that I spoke directly to the faith-based community. So again, you have two credible news organizations, or so they would have us believe, two credible media journalists, or so they would have us believe, intentionally misleading you, misrepresenting what was actually said, and hoping that you're not smart enough to know the difference. I know that you are. I want to draw your attention to a couple of other things as well. The Courier-Journal, I don't even have enough time in my day to talk about what a remarkably unreliable news source that is. But I want to draw your attention to a couple of things. I want to show you on the screen here, even as I'm talking, take a look at this quote from Joe Girth, who is a news columnist for the Courier-Journal. Take a look at this quote about recent economic development that happened in eastern Kentucky. He and the Courier-Journal get very outraged when we say that he's not objective, when we question whether or not he is partisan or biased. They are very offended that we would imply otherwise, that they say he's a professional, objective, non-biased journalist. Really? Does that tweet look like something that came from a professional, non-biased journalist? I would think not. I don't know who would be most offended. People of faith, because he mocks and ridicules Christianity and people of faith. He also mocks and ridicules people of eastern Kentucky. It's not just in his tweets. Take a look at these quotes that came from a recent article that he wrote, where again he mocks people from eastern Kentucky and he mocks people of faith. Take a look on your screen at these quotes that came from a recent article in his news column in the Courier-Journal. Again, these are just one written and a couple of video responses to my recent call for prayer and action from people in the faith-based community in some of our cities, not just in Louisville, but in Lexington and other cities around our state, where indeed we do need to respect human life, as I have been calling for some time, and have greater appreciation for one another as citizens. These are the things that I've called for. They're not complicated. Again, they're just one piece of a bigger puzzle. Other things, as you've heard me say, do need to be addressed. I want to say one final comment, because many people have wondered why I've not responded. I'm not going to get into a back and forth with leaders of the faith-based community who have come out in opposition to the idea of praying. I'm a little shocked at that. It's interesting, these very same people came to my announcement early and made sure that they held their own press conference. They got there and held a press conference trying to hijack the media for their own self-purposes. Then they came out and said that the discussion of prayer made them need barf bags. That was from an associate pastor at the largest church in our inner city. The senior pastor of that very same church said this was one of the most divisive things that he's ever seen, dividing blacks and whites. I would beg to differ, but I'll leave it to you to decide. We had other people who are putting themselves forward as faith leaders in the community who said that the call to prayer and the call to community engagement and people engaging with people as they spent time over the course of a year walking around these blocks, meeting people and praying with them, he said that call was an embarrassment to Christianity. I'm not even going to give them the courtesy of mentioning their names. You can look for their op-eds as they've tried to justify these kind of comments. But I do think this. I don't know that we're dividing the races as much as we are separating the sheep from the goats. I think they'll understand what I'm saying on that front. But the bottom line is this.
I stand by everything I said. I still call on the men and women of the faith community to step forward and take ownership. We have more than 6,000 churches in our state. We have tremendous need in every community in our state for people to step up and take ownership of the problems in our communities. And so I am asking people in Louisville and outside of Louisville, in Lexington and outside of Lexington, and our other major cities as well, take a block that has been affected by crime. Spend a year. Dedicate 3 to 10 people who will 2 to 3 times a week, up to 7 or more times a week, go spend 30 minutes walking around that block. Get to know the people on that block. Pray for the people on that block. Stop at each corner. Do this consistently at the same times every week to the extent possible. I am convinced this will make a marked difference. I truly believe that it will. How can it not? And for all the naysayers who don't want to participate, don't participate. But I don't think there's any need to mock Christianity or mock people of faith or mock the power of prayer or mock people from other parts of the state that you don't happen to live in, simply in response to this call to action. I know for a fact that of the people who came to this meeting, 80 to 85% of them came there for the right reasons. They didn't go out and posture up to the cameras. They didn't go out and demand barf bags because of the call to prayer. They didn't insult the reason that they were there or the community for their own self-serving purposes. These are people who came for the right reasons. I know you're out there. Some of you that were not at the meeting could be there. You can take a block. You can take 5. You can take 10 or 50. Some of you belong to large organizations and large churches and congregations. Please get engaged. We can make a difference. The power of prayer is real. We can engage people and we can get to know them. We can infuse dignity back into our communities. And we can do this because we are Kentucky.